Shlama Loch and Shlomo Alechu, here we are again. As promised, today we will do deck 1.2, which will go about, or which will talk about your family and friends. So let's just dive into it. We would say Itlencha Ercha Sapra or Qudme Qaidamta. There are different ways of saying tomorrow. Let's see. Itlencha Ercha Sapra. Okay. Sapra is a native but informal way of saying tomorrow. The more formal way would be Qudme or Qadamta. Archa meaning guest is a formal and authentic way of saying guest. That's correct. Another common loan would be Mevana or something like that, which has its origins, I think, in Turkish or Kurdish. So Itlan Kha'archa Qudme or Itlan Kha'archa Sapra. Sapra meaning morning can also be used for tomorrow. Same thing with Qadamta and Qudme. Alright. A neighbor. So obviously, if like one of the most common words for neighbor is alone Jiran or Jirana, which is from Kurdish. The Assyrian way of saying it would be Shwawa or Shwauta if it's a female. Shwawa, exactly. Origin is Akkadian. Shwauta is also female neighbor. Alright, as you guys can see, it's written with a waw or with a W, but when it's written Assyrian, it's written with a vet, so it should be Shvava. But because most people within the Eastern Syriac branch pronounce the vet as a W, it's written here with the W. So because the goal is to teach you how to speak, how you can understand other people and make sure that you communicate in an efficient way. The most authentic pronunciation would be Shvava, but people say Shwawa, just to clarify. Alright. A brother or a bro, a diminutive of brother, Achona or Achuna. Some people also even like contract the A, so they would say Khuna or Khona or Khon, even shorter. So indeed, formal way would be Acha, like in Hebrew and in Arabic, Achi. But Una or Ona is an affix that we use to make a word smaller, a diminutive. So Achuna would literally mean little brother or bro. But since it's so common, it's like a synonym to mean brother. Achuna. Nuclear family. I think it's Iqartha. Iqartha is the most common way of saying it. Yeah. Exactly. So Iqara actually means respect. Comes from the same root as we use for Yuqra, which is weight. So one can make the connection between Iqartha is the weight of the husband, but at the same time also the honor and the respect of someone. That's also your family. So something you have to carry, but it's also your respect and your honor. Same root, same logic. Iqarta. How are your father and mother? Dag ina babahu yummuch or dag ilay babahu yummuch. A very common phrase that you could ask someone. If you first ask him how he is doing, and then you can ask how his parents are doing, or how his wife is doing, or his brothers, or his children. So dakhilay babuhu yumuch, dakhina babuhu yumuch. So as you can see, here, dakh ilay is used in the Nineveh Plains, Nuhadra, Bothan, Qardu, that region they use ilay, while Hakkari and Urmi would use ina. So dakh ina or dakh ilay. Abuch from the word Abba, so babuch, dakh ilay abuch, u yumuch. A friend, khawra. Yeah. Khawra. As you notice, I pronounce it khawra, but on this platform, when the het is used, they use the letter x. So a small x is het. So Normally, if I would want to pronounce this in a authentic way, I would have to say hawra or hawra, even with a vet. So havra. But most people that speak Eastern Assyrian, they would say khawra. Definitely with these words. It's very rare, maybe in some Nineveh Plains villages. So this is a authentic word. It's a native word. Hawra. All right. My grandfather is 90 years, so one could say sawi ile tishishine, but it says literally has, so we can assume that they want us to say sawi itle tishishine. Savi, they forgot the dot for the khwasa. Savi ithle tishin shine. Savi itle tishin shine. That's correct. So sawi itle tishi shine. One more time. It's written with the vet, but a W is used. So the reason they do that is because it's just more common to pronounce it that way. A sister, singular, khata. So khata. Okay, softening is not written down. Khati itla kosa shapira. As you can see in example sentence, my sister has beautiful hair. Perfect example. Say hello, as in pass a hello. Shlama. Note, if you were to say this to a female, it would be Shlama. Shlama. So you either say to a male, for example, Shlama al Sargon. So say or pass an hello to Sargon. Or you can ask your mother to pass hello to your father. You could say Shlama al Babi. So pass an hello to my father. And then last for this deck, before we end this video, I have one brother and two sisters. Etli kha'akhona u trei khatwata. Etli kha'akhona u trei khatwata. As you can see, we saw earlier that the singular form of sister was khata, and the plural here becomes khatwata. So this is a irregular form of an irregular plural that is very common for relatives. For example, you would also say kha'akhona or kha'akhona utrei akhonwata or trei khatwata. Khababa trei babawata. You see? Or awahata. So it's very common to use this plural form for your relatives. Usually what you do is you remove the ending skapa, so the long A. For example, shwawa, a neighbor. The plural form of shwawa would be shwawe. That would be neighbors. Anyway, etlen kha'akhwana utrei khatwata. That's a very good sentence that you could use. To flip them around, you could say etli trei khunwata uda khata. I guess that's it. If you guys have any questions about this deck, please leave a comment below. And if you like these videos, I will continue making a video per deck. Pushim b'Shlama, fushim b'Shlomo.